Okay, in this section, we're going to be using Claude Desktop and Claude Sonnet 4.5 to create our requirements.md file. Now, requirements.md is the really specific MD file that's going to tell the application what we want to build. So this, again, is one of the 4 files that we need. We needed Claude.md that controlled everything, requirements.md, that is this file that is basically all about the application itself. Then we had techstack.md and designnotes.md. So now what we're doing in this requirements.md is we are treating this a little bit different. So we are going to be because we're developing an enterprise application, we're in the continuous innovation, continuous development cycle, which means we're going to build a platform and then we're going to add to it. So the important things that we want to do here is we're going to start by just creating a template. So we're going to create a to-do list application, and then we're going to be adding all these extra functionality to it later. So this is a perfect starter template if you want to start an application, because what you're going to see over the next couple of hours is all the things that can go wrong when you're building out your application. So we're building a to-do list application, and then at the end, we're going to call this a success if we have full control over the database, meaning we can create, read, update, and delete data. We have secure authentication, which means we can log in with a username and password. We can reset passwords. We can change passwords, do all that kind of stuff. We have a top and side navigation that works. We have full use of Bootstrap, including all the responsive elements, things like tables, cards, all the stuff that you would have in a Bootstrap application. And then we're efficiently fully using HTMX, which is really what gives a non-single page application the look and feel of a single page application. So let's get started on this step. All right, next, please write a requirements doc for this project. It is a basic to-do list tracker with user that would run as a SaaS, will run as a SaaS application with full user authentication. Please create the requirements. Okay, so now I am just taking the first thing Claude gives me. So normally if you're doing a full application, you're going to have a conversation going back and forth. So this is all right, so this is me popping in again. So the reason I am overwriting this audio is that Claude Sonnet 4.5 creates some really detailed requirements documents. And if you see what it's building and it's creating up on the screen, it's creating something that's pretty impressive. And it's a lot more comprehensive than you normally get when you have these conversations with Opus. And because we're building a template that we want to build upon in the future, this is actually a really good thing. So I'm just going to let Claude Sonnet do its thing, and we're going to use the requirements document that it creates regardless of what it does, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, because the main focus of what we're doing is we are going to be building a starting point that we can build the rest of our applications on top of. It isn't that we wanted a to-do list application, but it was the easiest way to make sure that all our requirements are met early on in the build process. Okay, so it has created a requirements document. And then I am going to copy this. Oops, I'm going to download it as text. And it's going to be requirements.md. Okay, so now we've had Claude Sonnet create a very full-featured requirements document for us. Now, is this the application that we're looking to build in the long run? No. But what it is going to have is it's going to really push the limits of using AI to build an application. It's going to build a very nice-looking, very full-featured application that we're going to use as a starting point for everything else we want to build. So in corporate environments, you very rarely hear about you starting with a blank slate. You always start with some piece of code that you know works in your your environment. And that's the idea here, is that we are building a template that we're going to be able to build a really nice applications out of. And this is a really good start for a requirements document. So in the next step, what we're going to do is we are going to create the build prompts. And this is another thing I really like having Sonnet do, because Sonnet writes really good, really full-featured prompts. And since we're letting the AI do its thing here, we're going to let artificial intelligence write the prompts for the first 10 or 20 build steps that we're going to do.